Aladdin's Cave of Antiques in Shropshire, Drew throws himself into the job.
They look all right.
And takes a gamble on some surprising items.
Tell you what, I'll give you 40 quid no matter how many there is. I know, paint cans, really. I'll get laughed at for it and that's fine.
In West Yorkshire, Drew and T go back to school.
Wow.
But find the headmaster rather strict.
£200.
I was hoping for more like 350.
And at one of the most extensive collections of military history in the UK...
Oh, I like it in here. It's quite a man room, isn't it?
Drew reaches new heights in his search for salvage.
Tell you what it's really good for, Bruce. I can see into people's gardens.
Yeah.
God, this place is stunning. Oh, my word, look at this.
He scours the country in search of weird and wonderful objects.
I just love it. Oh, yeah, that's a belter, isn't it? What is this? Wonderful. It's lovely.
In his hunt for treasure...
I was thinking 400 to 500 quid each.
He bargains hard.
Can we meet in the middle, 275?
And there's nothing he won't buy.
Ugly old men sell really well.
With help from his wife, Rebecca...
He's all yours. I hope you got a nice little kennel for him.
And a team of renovators, he transforms thousands of items, from junk to gems. At antique specialist Drew Pritchard's base in Conwy, North Wales, Drew's freshly found salvage...
We'll get them in the post to you tomorrow morning. Cool. Excellent. OK.
Drew has heard about a recently opened antique centre in neighbouring Shropshire. Hoping for some fresh and exciting stock, he's off to investigate this new hunting ground, driving 100 miles south to the rural idyll of Pattingham.
Right then, young man, we're off to see Ollie and Emma Jones of Shropshire.
Okay.
It's a new-ish antique centre, and it's a Monday, so they've probably been doing little fairs and fleas and car boots over the weekend, and there'll be new stock coming in today. So, perfect timing.
Throughout the UK, there are thousands of junk shops, antique and bric-a-brac stores. Always... Antique centres house lots of these independent traders under one roof, offering plenty of variety and opportunity to buy. Emma and Ollie Jones were so passionate about antiques, they set up their own centre. And as well as running their own stall, they rent space to a host of other retailers.
We've got some fantastic traders. We've got people who do all sorts, from architectural to vintage to clothes.
Our store's mainly sort of industrial and salvage. Anything sort of rusty and oily is our sort of thing. But I mainly go out, source it, buy it, and you clean it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hello.
Hiya.
Drew.
Ollie. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Drew, Emma.
Emma.
Take
how are you?
I've been here.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are all different traders. How many people have you got in there?
There's 48 in total.
Blimey, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of these places sort of don't work because the people don't put the effort in, but clearly here they are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do. They work very hard.
They are, aren't they? It's good.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah, this one's mine.
Ah, really? Really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's very good, yeah. This is right up my street. I've had some of these before.
Yeah.
God. Finger boxes. You don't see these very often. First impressions are good. One of the best things about coming to antique centres like this is because it's the variety. You get a pick of all sorts of things every day. Somebody is putting something new in. So there's nearly 50 people here. So one of them's restocking all the time. There's a lot of reasons why I should come to these places. I call in at every single one I know about. You know all about haircuts, don't you? Shut your face. Dalek bottle opener. Why wouldn't you want one?
Inebriate.
That was very quick, T.
As predicted, with so much stock on offer, it's not long before Drew spots a potential buy.
This needs knocking back a bit. It's just got a bit too much goo on it. Too much varnish. I'll have to get that off.
These are mid-19th century mahogany apothecary drawers. Originally merchants of wine and spices, by the 1700s, apothecaries had become the equivalent of modern-day pharmacists. These many-drawed cabinets would have been used to store loose medicines and herbs, but they fell out of use with the arrival of mass-produced pills. in refurbed.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother chipping them on the price. That's fine. We'll take
Okay, brilliant.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Marvellous.
Set of winter drawers for you.
No, that's great. We've just had a find that I'm really pleased with. It's a mahogany bank of 8 drawers. Would have come from a chemist's originally. They've got an inset pull handle. Very attractive. It's small, it's cute, it'll fit in your house. Nice piece to go to a private client who's going to just adore it. It's just lovely, charming, charming little thing. And it's 90 quid. Sometimes you just get lucky.
With one profitable deal under his belt, Drew looks round for more purchases.
It's going to need new motors and everything. It's a funky size, but in terrible nick.
Yeah.
One thing they have on one of the stalls here is a large Smith's factory or station clock. Condition-wise, this clock is not great. All the paint is falling off the back of the glass. The case is rusty around the top, so the fixings have come away. That's going to have to be completely stripped down, welded. That means you're going to have to change the paint colour. The motor inside, you've got to get another one. Then you've got to paint it, then you've got to make some brackets for it, then you've got to clean it, then you've got to, there's a million little things to do to it. So it's going to have 300 to 400 quid spent on that to get it to a point where we can maybe get £1,000 for it.
Founded in 1851, Smiths were once the largest clock manufacturer in Europe. At their peak, they were making around 4,000 clocks each week for the home, workplace, cars, and even Spitfire aircraft. £1,000.
Be interested in that, but they'd have to be very negotiable on price because they priced it, that's full retail, and it's in a hell of a state.
Yeah. Should we find out what the very, very bottom is for you?
Please.
Yeah,
I don't want to, if they've paid out for it, I can easily walk away. Somebody will have it, I'm sure.
Okay.
The clock is marked at 650, which is just way too much. Way too much for the condition that it's in. It's complete, the condition's bad.
Ollie speaks to the owner of the stall to see if she'll move on her price.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
What less?
All right.
Any news? What they say?
Basically, she'll do the clock, 300. That's the very, very least.
Salvage expert for unusual stock, even for a seasoned antique hunter like Drew.
I like this one. This is right up my street.
With 48 stalls to rummage through, he's spoiled for choice. He's found an early 1900s factory clock that needs a lot of work and is hoping he can do a deal.
They'd have to be very negotiable on price because they priced it, that's full retail.
300. That's the very, very least.
Bang on for the clock.
Yeah.
That's fine, yeah,
Okay,
we'll have it.
brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Cheers.
very much. Marvellous, that's good. I think they appreciate just how much it's got to go into it.
Yeah.
Wicked. Cool, should we carry on and have a look
Yeah,
around?
brilliant.
Have you got any other storage areas we can have a look at?
There's a place out the back.
Yeah.
It's an absolute tip, so you'll have to be careful in there.
Can we have a look?
Yeah, of course you can, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The very
That's all right, everybody's got one of these, you know. Ollie,
Yeah.
I saw a load of these in the shop.
Yeah.
How many have you got?
I think there's probably about maybe 9 or 10 altogether.
I know, paint cans, really. Don't know what on earth you'd use them for, but they look nice.
These 20th century paint pots were used to sell nuts, bolts and nails in a hardware store in Shrewsbury. They could be worth around £20 each.
What do you want for them?
£5 a piece, any good?
50 quid.
If there's 10.
If
I
there's
couldn't
10.
be sure that there is.
I think I'd be happier at 40 quid,
Okay.
just in case.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we'll take those. However, tell you what, I'll give you 40 quid no matter how many there is.
Yeah, okay. Deal.
Sure?
Yeah.
And you have to trust your instinct. Now, something is telling me to buy them, so I'm going to buy them. And I'll get laughed at for it, and that's fine. And when the next time you're driving down Pimlico Road and you see them in the window with plants in, who gets the last laugh from me?
With 3 very different and hopefully profitable buys in the bag, Drew wants one more look at Ollie and Emma's stall.
I spotted these before on the way in, and I just didn't really pay too much attention to them.
Okay.
Drew's noticed 2 pine factory counters from a Scottish whisky factory. The front sides that would have faced the customer have decorative panelling, while the back area houses roughly made drawers that were used to dispense ironmongery. In fully restored condition, they could be worth around £1,200 each.
They're a little bit rough. They need quite a bit of work.
I sort of saw the shop counters, but they didn't register. I thought, oh, just some old shop counters. Didn't think that they'd be anything good. Come back and have a look at them again. They're actually dead right. 4 candles. They're really simple things, and they shouldn't have really survived. Find a pair that are almost matching, unrestored. It's always a bit of a bonus when you can do that.
I didn't realise your hands actually came out of your pockets.
They look all right.
Comfy.
Sold.
Yeah.
200 quid.
Thank you very
each.
much. Yeah.
On the van.
Okay.
Find of the day, being honest with you, is probably not what we found. It's finding this place. Most places I go to and stop at the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing there. I might get one door handle or something like that. So to come to one place and buy several items, all of them with are really interesting and well priced too.
Today's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's
hasn't
been a really good day.
Really enjoyed
Really
it.
fun experience. Yeah, I was definitely surprised with the paint cans. It wasn't something that I particularly thought he would go for, but
I
obviously
absolutely love those.
Yeah.
I've used those for a lot of displays, so I think that, yeah, I wasn't as surprised.
Happy? Oh, yeah. You did well.
Something.
Seriously, your knowledge is amazing.
Yeah, it's
now.
right. I've read a book.
You've just immersed yourself in the business, haven't you?
Happy with his unusual haul, Drew's hoping the team will share his enthusiasm.
Hello, hello, hello. We've been to Shropshire.
Paintings?
You like them?
Yeah.
I know, it's an odd one. I think they're cool.
I think this is going to be when Drew turns around and says, trust me. It's definitely going to be one of those. So,
This one's for Carl. 300 quid. Paid for that. Needs a load of engineering work done to it as well. But we haven't got one in stock at the moment.
The wrist strap on it was huge, though, wasn't it?
This was a bargain.
Oh,
50 quid.
God, that's good.
Eager to get the shop counters ready for sale, Gavin and furniture restorer Alex set to work on the restoration.
We need to make 6 drawers.
Look at the drawer on it.
Got to draw on my experience. All right then, take this off, get a moulding to match this, and then we'll use this to make the drawer fronts.
That'd be ideal.
Nice and old, yes. This is going to take us all day.
Gavin strips back the varnish and paint. Then they build new shelves and floors.
So because we're putting these long pieces in, inside the bar we've got a frame all the way across. So we need to measure from one side to the other, make sure we cut out the grooves so the frame of the bar slips into, there you go, like a glove. So now we need to lose these sharp edges from the new joints, so we're going to sand them off, round them off like the rest of the old timber, then we can start colouring it.
They use the old skirting to make new drawers to match the old ones.
I'm really happy with that. We'll pop a handle on and it's ready to go.
Finally, the counters get a French polish and they're ready for a new home. Meanwhile, Rebecca has had an inquiry about the apothecary cabinet.
yes, it went on 20 minutes ago. Yet still available. Fantastic. We'll wing an invoice to you now. Bye. Guess what?
What? You're kidding.
No,
Really?
no. Sold immediately. Going into the trade. Fell in love with them. Didn't want any other information.
Just wants them.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
invoice away.
Brilliant.
Think that must be our quickest sale ever.
Drew and T's next trip is to a school with a 236-year history. So they're driving 140 miles to Pontefract in West Yorkshire.
Drew's off to Aqua's school in West Yorkshire. Now, I'm excited because schools are good for us. Mainly because you can get usually a huge run of one item. You'd have a run of lab stalls, a run of benches. So this could be a really...
Its most historic market towns. Its once fearsome castle has a huge network of underground dungeons where the walls are scratched with centuries' worth of prisoners' names. And it's thought to be the place where Richard II met his end in 1400. 4 miles south of the town centre lies the resplendent Ackworth School.
I hated school. I hated every second of being at school. It was freezing cold, the food was rubbish, the teachers were boring, and I learnt nothing.
Could you stop sitting on the bench for this one and tell us what you think?
Originally built in 1757 to house a foundling hospital for abandoned children, the building was taken over in 1779 by Quakers, who opened its doors as a school to deprived Thatcher Anton Marie, and it still operates under a Quaker ethos.
I came here initially because I was very curious about Quakerism, because I represent those values too: honesty, truth, peace, simplicity. I think that these values people appreciate generally. So the school is run on that basis. Typical of many schools, we collect things. And over 230 years of the school's history, we have a lot of things that I think Drew will be interested in. So it's time for a clear out.
Oh yeah, look, beautiful. Superb. Hi there.
Hello, Drew.
How you doing?
Anton.
I can see.
Anton, hello, T.
Can we go and have a look around? Get out
Please
this
do,
weather?
come inside.
Thanks for having us. Lovely. First thoughts on the school is that it's from the best period of British building and design. Late 18th century buildings of the Georgian period and style are my favourites. Lovely room. So it's the central library. When they built this place, they really have gone to town. Incredible. If the rest of the place is like this, so a classical Georgian building stuffed with arts and crafts furniture, and we're able to buy some of it, it's going to be a very good day.
Well, let me take you down to the cellar and show you what we have down there.
Please. Yes.
Okay, this way. You really have to duck here because it's quite low.
I don't.
Yeah, we don't have the same problem.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
As you can see, something gets damaged, something's not needed anymore. What do you do with it? Throw it in the cellar. Okay. Okay, so all the stuff in here you're not using.
No, if you were interested in them, I'd be happy for you to take them away.
This sort of stuff, particularly the things were offered literally every day.
Yes.
And they have no place now in modern society. You can't do anything with them.
You're heading that way as well, though, aren't you?
True.
And here's another one. Might have something that interests you.
Is there anything in it?
Yes, full of slides. White dairy bowls are always nice. Do like those.
What would that have been used for?
Milk and butter and cream. I've got a few of them. They turn up in Wales, a little dairy bowl. And what I like about them is their naivety. And just when the slip's been put around the top, so roughly, and there's finger marks in the back of it and underneath. That's what I love about it. It tells a story of a different time, a naivety, a primitive-looking item which has been made to look beautiful for no other good reason than why not? And that always holds an interest.
This hand-thrown terracotta dairy bowl with a white glazed interior would have been used to collect milk or butter from the farm. Dating from the late 19th century, it could be worth around £100.
What would you want for that? I've got a figure in mind, but I can just blurt it out if you'd rather.
£20.
I was going to give you more, but 20's fine. No, it's worth about 40.
Drew's keen to see what else the school has to offer.
Then down these stairs and to your right, there's a table that I wanted to show you, which would probably have been in one of the laboratories.
That one?
That's it.
Yeah, that could be of interest. They have a limited use. You can't really use this as a kitchen table. Just about get your legs underneath. It's not quite wide enough.
Two people can't eat opposite either.
No, you always have to want one plate, centre plate, one plate. That's how sort of wide you want them. It's all right. All the drawers are there. All the drawer handles are there. And it's never been touched, and it's still quite solid. The end user for a table like this will probably be fashion retail or restaurant trade. Those two.
This early 20th century table with a teak top would have been used in the school lab. The tropical hardwood surface is super tough, resistant to acids, and won't catch fire easily. Once restored, it could have a value of around £900.
It has to be such an attractive price to me that makes me worth having. I'm going to have to spend money on it as well.
You could perhaps start off by making me a reasonable offer.
I'll kick off £200.
But I was hoping for more like 350.
Magnificent 18th century Ackworth School in West Yorkshire.
Wow.
He's bid on a school lap table from the early 1900s, but can Drew and head teacher Anton agree a price?
I'll kick off £200. I know.
But I was hoping for more like 350.
I was hoping we were going to meet at 250, but if we went to 275, I can do it.
I would be happy with that.
Happy with that? Sure.
It's a reasonable price, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Right, in the van. Will it fit in the van?
Anton's got one last item he wants to show Drew.
Come in here. We don't actually. We've probably got about 2 left in the school, but given that I've got 2, I'd probably be willing to part with one of them.
Okay.
This oak workstool circa 1900 has tapered legs and stretchers and a handhole in the oval seat. Most likely used in the school science labs, simple stools like these are desirable objects and could be worth around £90 each.
I can go £40 for that.
How about 50?
I'm going to have to stick with my 40 on that one, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
Sure?
All right.
All right, thank you. Wonderful. Right, let's get that table moved.
Fascinating in terms of meeting Drew and able to tap into what he was interested in.
All of the items I bought today all came back down to one thing. They were built to do a job, nothing more than that. But with that slight twist that they'd make them attractive as well, well designed. Beautiful in their own ways, particularly the bowl and the stool. That's what I love about what I do, is finding things like that.
It's only sticking out a bit.
So it's in, fits.
Kinda.
Really?
In the broader sense of something being in the van.
Looks all right to me. Anyway, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
It's been
Really.
tremendous. Thank you.
Thank you for today.
Thanks very much to you.
Done. Excellent.
With the van loaded, Drew and T set off for home. The team are eagerly waiting to see what they bought.
Welcome.
Hello. We've been up to Ackworth near Pontefract. This is lovely.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, brilliant.
Bit of butterpot.
Yeah, dairy bowl.
Yeah.
Butter tub, whatever you want to call it.
Lovely. I haven't got a white one.
No,
What do you pay for that?
20 quid. And now you can see
Very
this
spoony.
very big table. It's all right, Carl. You just wait. Don't bother helping.
Ready?
Yeah.
You got drawers?
Yeah. 275 quid.
That's very good. We haven't got that size table in the warehouse at the moment. It shouts retail or hotel environment. Now, I'm really excited that he got it. Do you want a cup of tea?
Please.
To have a look around and buy stock straight from the shelves. Occasionally, they'll also have items to sell.
Just looking at an email that's come through from a chap called Jez, and he has the most amazing easel that he wants to sell.
Jez Randall and his wife Debs are antiques enthusiasts. They've come all the way from Dorset, hoping to do a deal with Drew.
Hello.
Hi, Drew.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Nice to
Jez.
meet you.
Jez, nice to meet you. How are you?
This is Deb.
Deb, hi.
Hi,
How are you?
Drew. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming. I believe you got something for me to see. Oh, good. It's got grotty old paint all over it.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that. Where do you find it?
Well, local house sale.
Do you have the winder?
I've not quite got the winder, but I do have. Yeah, so it's not the original
So I
winder,
need to find a
unfortunately.
winder for it.
Yeah.
We generally will use one off the clock.
So it's Le Chartier and Bar & Co. So it's 1859 to 1897.
I'd say it's right at the end of that. What I love is that. I just love that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's almost like a little painting of its own.
It is. It's a landscape in its own right, isn't it?
It just comes down to price. What do you want for it?
This is a tough one. Not many of these come up for auction, and I've seen them coming out of auction about 1,500.
Yeah, I wouldn't be charging anywhere like that. I'd be selling that for about $795, $895 sale.
Yeah, okay. Well, hit me with some numbers.
If I was at an antique fair and I saw it for sale, I would pay a maximum. The winder, it would probably add another 50 quid with the original winder.
I was going to say another 25 quid. You can have the spanner. I'm happy.
Are you sure? Are you making a profit on it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thanks,
Thank
Joe,
you.
that's
Appreciate
brilliant.
it. Cool. You can give us a hand getting inside now. Then.
Yeah.
Nice, unrestored condition. Covered in paint. That really sells it for me. But very desirable. People love them. I saw somebody using one for a TV stand recently, and I thought that was quite cool. And who knows, maybe even an artist could use it. I was happy to own it.
The next expedition for Drew is the ultimate boys' toys trip.
Guy who I've met briefly in the past. He's invited us down to his house to have a look at his collection of militaria. But this is not somebody who just collects medals and buttons. He's got tanks, half-tracks, jeeps, you name it, he's got the lot.
2 fish in a tank.
Yeah.
One says the other. How do you drive this?
The boys are heading to Halesworth, 10 miles inland from the Suffolk coast. Of the 245 Millennium Greens set up at the turn of the century, it has the largest in the country, with 50 acres of land held in trust for the community, providing a haven for wildlife. It's also home to some other rep. One of Britain's foremost military antique dealers, Bruce Crompton, travels the globe finding World War II equipment and restores it in large sheds at the bottom of his garden.
What interests me is obviously the history of the conflict and the result of it, but certainly when I dig further down into it, it's the personal stories, the sacrifices that people made to obviously give us our freedom that we enjoy so much today. And I love to keep these guys' memories alive.
This one-time hobby has grown over 30 years to a 20-acre site with 50 vehicles, including 5 tanks, 10 half-tracks, jeeps, cannons and artillery pieces, all worth a staggering £10 million.
To have something that's, if a vehicle that we find can be restored to a running condition, that's where we should go with it, to really see these things actually start up and breathe again.
Let's go and get tanked up.
Please, no more. Please.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. You found us all right then, yeah?
Yeah. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing?
Very
Good
good,
trip?
very good. No problem at all. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem at all. Now, I mean, what we do here, Drew, obviously, we find really, really rare items, and then we'll restore them.
Yeah.
This is off of the famous Tiger tank. Now, it's not just a rusty old piece of metal. You know, the history of this, it's from Hill 112 south of Caen, battle against the British. You can see we're around, there's actually about €5,000 for that. It's a lot of money, but it's actually going to be used on the restoration of a Tiger tank that we're involved in at the moment.
First impressions when you arrive at Bruce's place is just the scale of what he's doing here. This is a hobby that's gone completely ballistic, out of control. Militaria is so specialised, but for me to go to places and buy from military collectors are quite good, because you've got to have a lot of money to get into this. So they buy everything, and it's the bits around that I'm after.
With Bruce collecting the best of the best, Anything he's willing to sell to Drew is bound to be top-notch.
What is that?
Right, basically it's an armoured personnel carrier, but you can see the details.
That's superb restoration. It's rude to ask, but what... Amazing.
Bruce houses some of his fully restored collection in a museum on site.
That's interesting. That's Winston Churchill's bath. Okay, from Down Street Underground Station.
I've got Mick Jagger's toilet.
Have you?
Yeah, it pales into insignificance, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. That particular vehicle was the first vehicle that I ever got in about 1985, and it came from Angers in France, and we actually purchased it from French monks that were still going to the local shops to get the provisions in it.
It's a Volkswagen. You know, I collect Volkswagens.
Yeah.
I've done for forever. And that's a real rare beast. Very, very hard to find.
You know, these things are going for up to 100,000 euros now.
Amphibious Volkswagen. It does exactly what it says. It's a swimming car. I've always wanted one.
You ever driven that in water then?
Yeah,
What's it like?
We're in, well, believe me, I mean, I ain't exactly twiggy, right? And we had me and one of my oppos in it. We had it in the first year, and they're a little bit unstable, a little bit. If you'd have had a couple of beers, you probably wouldn't be coming back to Drying Lane.
I've never come close to owning one of these before, and now they're out of my price range. If I'm able to buy parts off one, maybe. Who knows?
As such a passionate VW collector, owning even part of this historic vehicle would bring Drew joy. And he might be in luck, as Bruce has a room full of unused items, including some Volkswagen spares.
Now, Drew, this is another bit of a junk store.
Oh,
Used gearboxes, all kinds. What you lean on there, original World War II sirens.
all right, the wind-up ones.
Yeah, the wind-up
I've
sirens.
had a couple of those. How come you're getting all this stuff then?
Because I've got contacts everywhere.
That
No.
doesn't quite fit with
No,
everything else
now,
that's going on in it.
that's interesting, because that is reputed to be Hitler's toilet. Now, whether he actually ever got to use it, bearing in mind he was a vegetarian, right? But believe me, right, that toilet is off the Avro's Grill, which was his official state yacht.
The engines, I mean, you wouldn't sell those, would you?
Yeah.
Bruce will actually sell me some of the engines. Now, I think if I'm going to buy them, I'm going to buy them all.
Were built by Volkswagen for the German military during World War II.
What are they worth to you?
The
I'm buying them because I collect vintage Volkswagens.
one that's not touched, that'd be a couple of grand.
Salvage Supremo Drew Pritchard is with one of the UK's top military antiques dealers, Bruce Crompton.
It's rude to ask, but what does one of these cost?
£300,000.
Amazing.
They've toured Bruce's astounding assortment of military items, and as a collector of VW memorabilia, Drew's hoping for a deal on some World War II Volkswagen engines.
What are they worth to you?
It's the one that's not touched, or they're going to be a little bit more.
The engines are rare. I mean, they're rare as hell. But I don't need them right now. And I can't tie up the best part of 10 grand in 3 engines I'm not doing anything with, but just looking at them. You know, I can't do that. I really want to, but I can't.
With Drew's business head stalling the deal, he's back on track to find some items he can buy and restore to sell on.
When I want to be not disturbed, this is where I'll disappear. I've got a fridge full of beer.
Really? Oh, I like it in here. It's quite a man room, isn't it? Yeah, it's the daddy of all men room.
This thing you see here is Dora. This is the biggest gun ever made, ever.
It was made?
It was made. Hitler commanded it would be made. It was a complete pink elephant delivery, 2 tracks put together. And it was only ever used at Sebastopol in the Crimea. And they fired 40 rounds out of it. It wasn't used again. That's one of the shells.
My God, really?
Yep.
That's a shell?
Yeah, it's a shell.
Oh,
So,
my God.
you know, I was going to turn it into a jacuzzi, but even it's a bit tight for me.
How far could that fire a shell?
Oh, you know, 30 miles.
Really?
It's just ridiculous, yeah. Just an incredible bit of kit. But all this stuff here's got a bit of a story, you know?
As well as his military business, Bruce is also a director for an engineering company that does repairs and maintenance on the London Underground.
There's a couple of bits in there, still, might be up your street. We've got the row signs here, so I'm going to pull out. Yeah, look, there's one on the wall there, look, buffed up, they look all right. Station is down on the Underground, and the contractors that do the refurbishment normally strip stuff out and then they flog bits and pieces off, and we acquired these. Don't know if that's something that might float your boat.
Yeah, that's right up my street, that is. Bruce has taken us into another shed, and there are some enamel signs, and these are from an underground system in London, and they were just workaday signs. Now they sell incredibly well, and these are big, original, in good condition, and there's a pair. Couldn't be any better.
The London Underground roundel first appeared on stations in 1908 to help passengers identify the station name amongst advertising signs. These mid-20th century enamel steel sheet versions were produced to help cut manufacturing and maintenance costs after the Second World War. They could have a value of around 700...
You're used to buying and selling stuff?
Yeah, but I suppose, in all fairness, you know, you've come a long way. I ain't going to haggle about the price. Under 50 quid.
Each?
Yeah. Done.
Sold.
Easy, wasn't it?
Lovely. Fabulous.
Come and look at tanks.
Come
Buy
and look at
underground
tanks.
signs.
Well, that's done. Right, we've made the money on the day.
Yeah.
Let's go and mess about with tanks.
This is great.
Bruce is taking Drew and T out in an M8 Greyhound, an armoured car produced by Ford during World War II for use by the British and American troops.
It's got phenomenal cross-country capable of 40 grand. This one was 40,000.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Well, it is, because it's all singing, all dancing, got everything with it.
Tell you what it's really good for, Bruce. I can see into people's gardens.
Yeah.
We'll see what they've got.
Drew may not be leaving with a van load of military memorabilia, but the experience has been just as valuable.
I really enjoyed today. Bruce's enthusiasm for the subject clearly knows no bounds. It's a pleasure to listen to him because he's a true, absolutely dyed-in-the-wool, complete enthusiast for this. He's just a madman. It's brilliant. I love it when people get this crazy about stuff. Wicked. What a piece of kit.
I must say I had a really interesting day. Drew absolutely stunned me with his knowledge of military history, and for somebody like me who... We'll see you again,
Thank you, Ruth.
all right?
Brilliant.
Drew, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Have a safe trip back. See you later, chaps.
What a setup. There's having a hobby and then there's having a hobby. Unbelievable.
At least you didn't shell out on a tank.
You've been waiting for that all day, haven't you?
Yeah. Have I gone down the wrong track?
Back in Conwy, the underground signs have their old bolts removed. With new ones in place, they get a clean and polish. And they're ready for sale. The dairy bowl from Aqua School goes to one of Drew's regular customers in Glasgow. As for the school lab table, it's handed over to furniture restorer Alex to give it a new lease of life.
Just to give it a nice natural beeswax, which will bring out the natural beauty of the wood, really, and give it that old vintage look.
This is the table from the school. When we bought it, it looked very down at heel. We couldn't get some of the marks out of the top here, so they've had to stay. Put it on the market on, I think, on a Wednesday, and it was sold by Friday morning. It's now gone to a regular client of ours. They're over the moon with it, and I'm not surprised because it's a belting piece of furniture, a very usable piece of furniture, in the sort of condition that if you mark it, it doesn't matter. It's lovely. It's beautiful.